Very good afternoon to all, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is the 4th August 2024, Sunday class. So we'll continuing our sharing from this book, the Heart Sutra. We are at page 52. So as usual, we will have our physical puja. Let us compose our mind, develop the faith, saddha, virya, then mindfully we shall commence the physical puja. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Kamesu Miccācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Surameraya Majjapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Buddhang Pujemi Dhammang Pujemi Sanghang Pujemi. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalisu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakemokadang Dhamma Sawanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sawanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sawanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti peso bhagava arahang sama sambuddho Vijja charana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Opanayiko Pacyatang Veditadbo Vinohiti Supatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ujupatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Nyayapatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Samicipatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Takineyo Anjali Karaneyo Anuttarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you all can be seated. Now we shall continue from where we stopped. We are at page 52 of this Heart Sutra note, section 1.4. So this is the summary of the key understanding. The key to understanding meditation is to understand that the body and mind must harmonize. Where as a human being we have a physical form, then we have a mind trapped inside. So these two develop what the Buddha called the form and mind. Then the mind he has subdivided into four more aggregates, which are the feeling aggregate, where the mind can feel. Then the perception aggregate, the mind can perceive. And then the mind can arise sankhara activity, thought activity, mental states, mental volition, mental intention, mental activity and movements. So all these are part and parcel of what your mind can do. And these three, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, they are the content of consciousness within our conscious mind. Then what they call external receptacle that receive this content is the pure vijnana, or the pure consciousness without its content. That's why in the teaching, the Buddha says, when we perceive something, in that perception, there is only that perception consciousness. There is no one to see, no one to hear, no one to smell, no one to taste, no one to tactily feel or think. That's why in the seeing, like the physics experiment, upon contact, the light bulb lights up. The lighting up of the light bulb is like you become conscious. Because of our senses, we can become conscious of what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we tactily feel and think. So this consciousness is a natural occurrence, a natural phenomenon that arises naturally upon contact. That's why when you understand that with awareness, with sati, with mindfulness, when you can be with the moment, to be aware of that conscious moment, there is no one to perceive or even hear, smell, taste, tactily feel or think. It's just that consciousness, that pure vijnana. But the moment the content goes in, without Dhamma wisdom, your content is mostly egoic, full of sakkayaditi, self-delusion. And this egoic mind arises through the mundane thinking activity. Because of our brain, our memory, we accumulated a lot of experiences. Then we believe these are real. These are experiences we experience, good or bad, that we carry. Then from there, through thinking, we develop all the views, opinion, conditioning, and belief system. And from there, you stir your mind, where your views, opinion, conditioning, and belief system. That's why the stirring of the mind is due to a delusion that condition wrong thought that brings about suffering, which are mainly fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow and lamentation. Even your phobia, your insecurity, your deep resentment, hatred, strong mental sadness or reaction. All these are due to your own self-delusion, sakkayaditi, that condition you to behave that way. So without the awareness to be aware of all this movement, you cannot understand how the mundane mind create havoc, create entanglement with the phenomenal world of consciousness, where you cannot see things as they are. You cannot develop the understanding of who you are, what you are, and how you function as a human being. That's why you cannot, through wisdom, retrospectively reverse all this understanding to straighten your view so that you are not deluded, not entangled by what happened in life. So now I read this sentence again, then you will understand it clearer. The key to understanding the meditation as taught by the Buddha is to understand that the body and mind must harmonize and be in a constant state of relaxed inner awareness without thought, to develop the meditation, also called wisdom within. And because this mundane mind of ours is trapped inside this physical body of ours, due to our karmic past or karmic conditioning, so whatever the body experiences physically and mentally, the mind will also experience them through its mental consciousness, because they are connected, karmically gelled together. Then the mind, which experience them through their mental consciousness, can give rise to suffering when there is no wisdom. This is the reason why the form and mind can experience suffering conditioned by one's karma, if wisdom is not developed as yet. So this is very important. That's why I say the key understanding Without this understanding, you cannot understand how nature has its own marvel of creation to trap living beings in such manner. Because that form a mind that has not developed the wisdom and the understanding of this teaching cannot understand truth, cannot understand the reality of life and existence, cannot understand life. That's why if you don't understand life, how can you live life? That's why they continue to develop heedless thinking, wrong thought, triggering of constant emotion, reaction to sense experience and suffering. And this is how karmic process continue to evolve and move. That's why the Buddhist teaching is very profound. It's not something that you take for granted, believing that it's just knowledge. When you understand the knowledge part of it, you think you understand the Dhamma. No, it's beyond knowledge. It's the complete understanding of not only who you are, what you are, the form and mind aspect, the mundane aspect. It's also the supramundane aspect, which is beyond mind, beyond thought, beyond the thinking, beyond the mundane aggregate or thought process. Is there another nature within that you can realize, that can give rise to understanding, wisdom and awakening? That's why the next paragraph I wrote, to truly become enlightened, one must have the understanding to transcend birth and death of this segmented life of ours. Means this segmented life of ours that come through rebirth consciousness, born or ignorant, need to be transcended. You need to realize the enlightenment, which is Nibbana, to transcend it. That's why there is a famous quote by Venerable Guangqing Lao He-sang. Guangqing Lao He-sang always recite these three famous verses. 过去心不可得, meaning the mind of the past is already gone, so it's no more a reality, or not a reality anymore, which is similar to what we used to share. The past is already gone, no more reality. You can only recall it through memory, and it's no longer that moment. It's already over. That's why you call it the past. Similarly, the future, 未来性也不可得。未来性 means the mind of the future has yet to come. So it's also not a reality. So when you understand this, then you understand the past and the future are not a reality, but they are delusional time that the thought has created. Our mundane thought activity, thinking, created the concept of this illusionary time, which is the past and the future, to trap the living being. But when you think of the future, you are no longer with the moment. That it can trigger insecurity, fear, sorrow, lamentation. Sometimes you recall your scars of memory or unhappy past. That's how the mind, being deluded, get conditioned into suffering based on something that you recall through memory. It's only a thought. How come it has power over you? How come it can cause you so much suffering and misery? See it clearly. It's only a thought. That's why Noble Eightfold Path is about having right view to arise the right thought. Not all the wrong thought, the deluded thought, the heedless thought. And what are wrong thoughts? I already shared with you. Thought that condition your fear, your worry, your sorrow, your lamentation, your deep resentment and unhappiness. These are all wrong thoughts. That's why I give you a very good advice. Whenever you are not happy, not peaceful, the wrong thoughts are there. The evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion are there. So that is the pointer, the key, the hint to understanding the Dhamma. So when you are mindful, aware, you can sense it. Then you become very sensitive. Then you will not do the foolish thing, the deluded thing. Then finally, the third stanza, which he always mentions, is he says, 现在心也不可得, means the present moment awareness also cannot be held on to. Why? Because it is so transient. It's transient nature. Because of its transient nature. Hence, it's also not a reality too. Even though it's the highest in line, the present moment awareness, or what Eckhart or Krishnamurti say, the pure presence or awareness within the moment. Or within existence, means they are the highest in life, or within existence. But that is the only reality. But the moment you know or experience it, is already dead and gone. Hence, no longer the present moment. So in order to transcend life, or birth and death, 了生死, one must transcend even the present moment, which is still within existence and life itself. And to transcend life, you must meditate to realize the cessation of form and mind, which is the realization of Nibbana, or the unconditioned, which is the unconditioned. Means beyond thought, beyond mind. The whole form and mind cease, including the pure awareness nature cease. Then, as we all know, the moment is the only reality, or apparent reality in life. And as real as it can be, is just a moment. And the very next moment is already dead and gone, and no more. Then the next moment arises and passes away again and again. Hence, how real can life be? The characteristics of impermanent, empty nature, they manifest very clearly. So, this empty nature is the reason why we say the anatta nature, and it's not so real, not what you think. Because they come and they go, they arise and they pass away. It's only consciousness, nothing else, and not a permanent unchanging entity. He know you, he know me. So how real can life be? Contemplate on this, reflect on this, and develop clear understanding of this to awaken. Okay? Then we move on. The next part, 1.5, is understanding life. After understanding the stanza by Guangqing Lao her son, what must we do? So we will come to this understanding. Moment to moment, life passes by. You must inquire. That is the only reality. But what you are doing within that moment to moment, you reflect, you contemplate, you find out for yourself. When you understand yourself, you understand others. The problem with living being is, if you don't believe me, you go and find out, including yourself, before you know the Dhamma. They are too busy thinking, planning, and worrying about life. So much so, they never live life. Then I put here, they are too busy thinking, planning, and worrying about life most of the time. Of course, at times, they have laughter, they have so-called mundane joy or happiness or fun. But they are never with the moment. So much so, they totally miss out on life. That is, they are never with the moment to fully live and experience all of the beauties and wonders of life. or the pristine beauty and wonders of life. The word pristine is not there. Pristine. To experience all of the pristine beauty and wonders of life. Instead, they only existed through life. They are conscious, but hardly mindful or aware. So learn to live life. Be more and more aware, more and more present, instead of lost in thought, thinking of the past and the future, and to worry about life. When you project your thought into the past and the future, you tend to create unnecessary fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation. And all this is delusion. You are not living life. To live is to be within the moment, to experience all of the pristine beauty and wonders of life that is going on and unfolding within nature. Not to go and create unnecessary worry, anxiety, sorrow, lament. That is not living life. That is creating your own hell, your own suffering, your own misery. There is no inner peace, inner calmness, inner awareness. The serene tranquility of mind to experience what is within nature. Which means there is a lot of delusion that condition one's attachment, clinging and grasping to the conditioned world, to what manifests within the phenomenal world of consciousness. All those are not so real, not what you think. That's why existence is part of the conditioned world. It has no reality in the unconditioned. And the conditioned world has its unique international characteristic, or the three universal characteristics of nature. These universal characteristics are: it is transient, which means impermanent, dependent, originating, condition arising, cause of phenomena. And because it is impermanent, there is no permanent unchanging entity. And everything follows nature's law. What is the reality? If condition is already set, thing will go this way. Cannot be otherwise. If you want thing your way, which is not nature's way or following nature's condition, then the second universal characteristics of dukkha or suffering will be the result. That's why, because you see the unreality of the moment, impermanent, dependent, originating, condition arising, you will see suffering. If you don't accept what is the reality based on understanding nature's condition, you will react and stir your mind and develop unnecessary suffering, conflict, and misunderstanding within yourself and the world. And because of that, you see clearly there is no permanent unchanging entity that you can cling on to, grasp onto, hold onto, and say, this is me, this is I, even your own form of mind. Therefore all this can be mine. You will not be deluded by the belief that you can own things, have things, possess. They are only yours when causes and conditions are there. When causes and conditions cease to be, they cease to be. When your entity erases, you also cease to own anything. That's why thing is just the way it is, not what you think. Basically, not so real. He know you, he know me. Empty. No mark of itself, no mark of others, no mark of Dhamma. So all these understanding are very beautiful. Okay, we go to part 2. Heart Sutra lesson 8, part 2. A general explanation of the title and the 5 categories of recondite meaning. Page 3 to 6. So this one is the 8-line verse by Master Hsuan Hua. So Brother Teo just briefly went through it because at that time it was not important. So I mentioned that below is Master Hsuan Hua's 8-line verse, which Brother Teo advised the Kayamita then to read through before discussing them during the next Heart Sutra class. First, Master Hsuan Hua said, wonderful wisdom can reach the other shore. Now, means enlightenment in the here and now can be realized. But you must have this wonderful understanding of the Dhamma, wisdom. Then the true mind itself can merge with enlightenment source. This is the source, the first circle. Understand? When you have realized the true mind, develop the direct seeing, the insight in the phenomena, the universal characteristic of nature, you develop the stability of wisdom. Then this wisdom can cause the mundane mind to cease, and even the true mind to cease, and merge with enlightenment source. This is the meaning. Okay? That's why I quote what Hsuan Hua mentioned. The true mind itself can merge with enlightenment source. At that time, Kayamita not ready. That's why I didn't share this. I didn't explain much. I just quoted. Then the third aspect of the 8-line verse is Dhamma and analogy comprise its title, which transcends the relative. Then the fourth stanza or verse, empty of the characteristics of all Dhamma is this substance which is beyond words. So characteristic of all Dhamma, the universal characteristic of anicca, dukkha, anatta. So when it's empty of this characteristic, then it is the substance that is beyond words. Then the fundamental non-attachment is its purpose and intent. That ultimately is the conditioned world as real as it can be. There can be wonderful existence when you understand. But when the unconditioned Dhamma wisdom is developed, then you realize it is an illusionary world, not what you think, not so real. He no you, he no me. That's why the fundamental characteristic of wisdom is not to attach. Non-attachment is its purpose and intent. You cannot develop this understanding means you have not penetrated the conditioned Dhamma and the unconditioned Dhamma. Then number 6. And by using its power of eradication, the 3 obstacles are cleaned away. So these 3 obstacles are very powerful karmic obstacles. So under Hsuan Hua's teaching, he subdivided the karmic obstacle into 3. First is karmic retribution. There are 2 types of karmic retribution obstacle. First is the primary obstacle, then the dependent obstacle. We will delve with it in the next session, the next lesson of the Heart Sutra. Then the other one is after this what they call primary obstacle, we move on to activity obstacle. Activity obstacle is another karmic obstruction related to your job, the thing you do in life, your career and all those things. Then last one is the the first one is retribution. You got primary retribution and dependent retribution. The last one is something to do with your affliction one. It causes you suffering. So Shenhua call it affliction, karmic obstacle. So affliction is referring to the karmic friction or karmic affliction that arise when you take birth. So all this we will do in the next lesson. We will go through. Then you have the butter division. This one is determined by its meaning. Oh, sorry. The butter division is determined to be the meaning of this teaching. So according to Mahayana, they got divide all their various period of teaching by the Buddha. So they call this the butter division teaching. Then the last one of the stanza is a Maha turnaround. This is the Prajna book. So all these are in the 8-line stanza that Master Shenhua delivered in the commentaries in his Heart Sutra. So we will go to the next lesson. Then 3.1 is we incorporated is the 6-hour meditation practice. This is taught by Dhamma Sharing, a US-based center, Buddhist meditation center. I think the abbot, the late abbot, he passed away already. His name is Vimala Ramsi. Vimala Ramsi. Before that, he has another name. If I'm not wrong, it's Venerable Jirasato. But over the past 20 or 30 years, he didn't use that. He used his new name, Vimala Ramsi. So this 6R was introduced by him, which is quite good. So this one comes about because while reviewing my email number 3 on what is meditation, part 2, Brother Theo came across the 6-hour meditation practice as mentioned by one of the participants. And Brother Theo has so kindly explained the 6-hour practices to us as below. So this monk that introduces the 6-hour practices is quite a good monk. And his 6-hour method or technique, which he also sometimes termed as a form of right effort, is quite useful and good if used as an initial skillful means to train the mind and to relax the mind. But as in many instances, they thought the 6R is the meditation, hence the problem. This is also the reason why every time when they are doing the 6R, they thought they are meditating. Anyway, the 6R, as mentioned, consists of the following. So this one may help you if you want to understand what they do. In fact, the first 4 are very useful. Then the 5th R and the 6th R are not so useful. First R represent recognize. He said you must recognize that your mind has been distracted by a distraction, which may be a pain, a painful sensation, or a wandering thought, or a tension somewhere within your physical body, or an itchiness or a numbness within your bodily area, manifesting as tactile consciousness, or at one of the other sense door consciousness. So whenever there is a distraction, you recognize it. After you recognize it, don't follow, he said. If you follow, you will be lost in thought, preoccupied in what you are thinking and reacting, stirring. That's why your mind cannot calm down. So what he thought was the second hour is to release that distraction. May it be any tension or whatever, or a painful sensation. You just release it. So the releasing of it is not to hold on to it, not to cling on to it, not to go and be affected by it. Just release it. Don't let the brain or the mundane mind hold on to it anymore. To release the mind from the distraction and let it be without clinging on or reacting to it. Means don't label it as pain or itchiness or distraction, or well, when you do that you create mental hindrance. But he didn't explain all this. He just said release. Means don't allow the distraction to pull you away, which is quite a good skill for me. So not to cling and not to react, to maintain awareness. He didn't mention that. But he moved on to the third R. He said the third R is relax. To relax the tension or tightness or stress within, caused by craving in your forehead, where there is like a membrane that is being tightened. So he said relax into it. That relaxation actually helps to release the tension, the tightness, the stress, and the clinging, grasping, or holding on. So when you relax into it, it's actually a preliminary skillful means. But more important is to maintain awareness. When you maintain awareness without reacting, without clinging, grasping, and let things be, then continue to relax body and mind. That's why you remember our four support: relax, maintain awareness. That part, if you understand, then you no need to really worry about what they teach. You only have to relax, which is their third R. Then maintain awareness means instead of releasing, recognize release, you can just maintain awareness. Means don't be disturbed by it or distracted by it. Just relax into it, maintain awareness, and let it cease. Then of course they use the fourth R as re-smile. So this is also another skillful mean. When you smile, it means what? There is joy, there is happiness inside. So this is a relaxed body and mind. So when you re-smile, it can help you relax the body and mind of all tension and stress. When you are in that smiling emotion, you cannot have tension and tightness in it. Because for you to smile, you must have joy inside. So when you smile, you relax, because in order to smile genuinely, there must be a relaxed state of mind, which is having the joy and happiness. So he used this re-smile. Means every time don't get angry, smile. Be happy. There's a song. What is a song idea? Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Something like that. Then the fifth one is the fifth R. Is a return to your anapanasati, mindfulness of the in and out breath cultivation. Means to train the mundane mind to develop the stability of mindfulness leading to heedfulness. This one I add in. So if you can return and do the anapanasati leading to mindfulness and heedfulness, that is very good. But don't be distracted and deceived by the idea that every time you must return to anapanasati. Well, anapanasati also can be developed until a state where your breathing all has become very subtle. Then your mindfulness, everything has already stabilized until the mind enters sati. After that, don't do anymore. Just completely silent. Stay. Let the mind settle down and become very stable. Let the mind enter sati to realize your true mind. The silent mind, tranquility of mind, stillness of mind. That mind that is in samadhi is what they call ready to develop the meditative understanding. So when you are ever mindful, you use it to develop the meditation. It becomes heedfulness. So from there, develop heedfulness. Then the 6R asks you to repeat all this. Every time distraction arises again, recognize it. Yeah. After you recognize it, you must actually release it. Yeah. Then release already, you relax into it. Then of course he asks you to re-smile, then return and repeat. But the trouble with those who don't understand is, like I put on the note down there, please note that the number 6 step involves a lot of repetitive doing, repeated doing by the thought. Hence, very mechanical and repetitive, leading to thought-based meditation if one cling onto the doing without understanding what meditation is. So a better way will be to replace the 6R with meditation via the trained mind in silent awareness instead of repeating the 6R process. This will help improve and refine upon the 6R to make it a lot better and much more useful. Similarly, for step 5. Step 5 can be stopped once the mind is already trained until it has entered sati, like I explained just now. Note that steps number 3 and 4 are very similar to our mind sweeping method and metta used in training and relaxing our mind to decondition one's heedless thinking. So in the early day, I used to teach the mind sweeping method before I can introduce the pure awareness-based meditation, the 4 support. So this mind sweeping method is very important, where you learn to sweep your mind from the forehead down. When you sweep your mind, the first thing you do is, wherever there is any tension, tightness or stress within, you relax into it. Relax into it. Then after that, to help you further, you radiate a radiant smile. Then you radiate metta, loving kindness. So all these are skillful means to help you decondition your whatever heedless thinking that has been going on because of your inability to be mindful in the midst of life. So most people are heedless while living life. So without that ability to train your mind to be heedful in the midst of life, when you suddenly want to meditate, you cannot, because the mental hindrances are there. And without the spiritual faculty, you cannot do anything to the mental hindrance. That's why a living being has problem developing the meditation. And what are mental hindrances? They are mind state that hinders your mind from entering the meditative state or inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness. That's why most people cannot meditate. So they introduce all the method, techniques, and skillful means to help them to train the mind, which is okay if you understand. Then later on, develop the understanding and move on your own. Okay, then we go on to the notes. Have an open mind when people share with you their understanding. We should appreciate and have mutual respect for each other's understanding. No more trying to be right or arise any unnecessary argument that can lead to disharmony and misunderstanding. Always remember, avoid all division and negativity of speech, argument, and etc. Pure actions are actions performed without any evil roots or evil motives. When you want to do good or develop generosity to get merits, and your action is out of getting merits or greed for that merits, it's already not a pure action, and it will end up with no true merits for true merits are born of pure action, that are free of the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. Okay, we finished that lesson 8. So now we move on to lesson 9. The 9th Heart Sutra class. That one was 12 years ago, 15 April 2012. So short notes taken to assist in developing a clearer and better understanding of the sutta discussed. So a recap and emphasis on the previous lesson. So what we have gone through is the 7 factors of enlightenment. So within the 37 factors of enlightenment, there are 7 main factors of enlightenment called Satta Bojjhanga as taught by the Buddha. And what are they? They are, the first one is sati or mindfulness or awareness. Silent inner awareness before the knowing, that is sati or mindfulness. Mind in fullness, fully aware. It's the first factor of enlightenment. And it's also one of the 5 spiritual faculties. For sati is life. Without sati, there is no heedfulness. Hence, no life. Means spiritually you are as if dead. Because the heedless are as if dead. Dhammapada verse 21. Also without sati, there is no heedfulness, or the silent mind in pure awareness, to investigate the Dhamma and to see the mental intention behind all our action, speech and thought process. That's why sati is very important. It's the first factor of enlightenment. Then the second factor of enlightenment is Dhamma Vichaya, or in English is translated as Dhamma investigation. So Dhamma investigation or Dhamma Vichaya is the second factor of enlightenment. Only with sati is there the ability to investigate the Dhamma with the silent mind. When the Dhamma stand up to investigation, the faith or saddha in the Buddha and his teaching will be strengthened, thereby giving rise to the third enlightenment factor, which is virya. That's why when we investigate the Dhamma, we can put to test what the Buddha has taught us. Like Dhammapada verse 21, 22, 23, we can find out ourselves. Even Dhammapada verse 1 and 2, you can put it to test. You act, speak and think with a heedless mind. The suffering follow you. Then when you act, think and speak with a heedful mind, free of the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, does happiness follow you like your shadow that never leaves you? All this you can investigate. Then when you investigate into them and they stand up to investigation, you have a lot of joy. Your faith in the Buddha and his teaching become enhanced. So the third factor of enlightenment, virya or spiritual zeal or tenacity, is the third factor of enlightenment that will drive your meditation. It's an energy that will drive you, where you see the importance of this understanding, this cultivation. So after you investigate, your faith strengthens, then you go all out to cultivate. Then when you develop the cultivation, you will stabilize your sati. Then when your sati is stabilized, you will realize piti or spiritual joy or calmness, which is the fourth factor of enlightenment. This will arise. Then after that, you continue to relax and stabilize this piti. The next factor of enlightenment, which is passaddhi, or the tranquility of mind and stillness of mind, which is the fifth factor of enlightenment, they will arise. So this is the silent mind in sati, or mind that has entered sati. And this is your true mind, your silent mind. Then when you stabilize it, it becomes samadhi. Samadhi is the collected and unwavering mind. This one is also a free mind. It's not in a conditioned state. And when this arises, it develops the sixth factor of enlightenment. And the sixth factor of enlightenment is born of the stable paucity. So once the six-factor enlightenment arises, samadhi will be developed. So this samadhi is a collected and unwavering mind. They will arise once your paucity, which is the fifth factor enlightenment, or tranquility of mind, stillness of mind, and sati, has stabilized. And then after that, the next one is upekkha, or equanimity of all mental formation, born of wisdom, is the last seventh factor of enlightenment. And it will arise once sati and samadhi has stabilized to enable us to see things as they are, leading to all the wisdom and prajna, or panya, which is also the last of the five spiritual faculty. So these karmically conditioned five aggregates of form and mind, or the segmented human being, which you all call relative, is not me, but just only a tool and a vehicle for me to come to this existential world, for me to make use of it, to live life and to experience life to the fullest, etc. This form and mind, or this form, or the physical body of mind, is similar to the functional body of Lord Buddha, called the Nibbana-kaya, that performed the function of the Buddha 2,500 plus years ago, when he became enlightened underneath the Bodhi tree. That his spiritual nature, or perfection body, is called the Sambhogaya-kaya, and when that one come back to him, and then they combine to make him the Samma Sambuddha. They are arising the third transformation body, which is the Dhammakaya, that enable him to speak and proclaim the Dhamma. So this one is quite straightforward. So as a cultivator, like every one of you, including me, I have a physical body which is my functional body that performs the function of me in this life, or this segment of my evolution. So this functional body is karmically conditioned for me to come, and I have to make use of it to cultivate. But then, as I cultivate, I develop the understanding, the causes and conditions for me to connect back to my nature. Once I have a glimpse of this nature, then I connect back to my nature, which because I have done it in the past. When this happens, the marvelous thing happens. The Nibbana Kaya, which is a functional body, can inherit from the what they call the Sambhogaya Kaya, my spiritual nature. So my spiritual nature, the understanding, will come back to me. Then when it comes back to me, these two will combine and enable me to teach the Dhamma. But because I have not completed the full perfection to be a Samma Sambuddha, that's why this one will not make me a Samma Sambuddha. But it can trigger off the what they call combination to teach the Dhamma. So, in a sense, it's also a Dhamma Kaya, a Dhamma body that can actually share the teaching based on whatever understanding I have and all the inheritance that I have inherited, including the cultivation this life. So all this will come back and transform this segmented form in mind of mine into what I am now. Of course, you all call this brother Tio, but this is just a vehicle. This is not me, not I. It's not a permanent and changing entity. This is just a vehicle and a tool for my nature to come to this segment of my manifestation or arising. So all this understanding will be there. Okay? We go back to the notes. So after understanding all this, you should not cling on to this karmically conditioned five aggregates of form and mind so deludedly anymore. And the next time when you argue with your friend or your wife or your husband, which is your spouse, you understand that they are just a form and mind, with its bundles of memory and conditionings, views and opinions, etc., arguing with another form and mind. So not so real and not what you think. If you deludedly cling and grasp onto the five aggregates of form and mind as the I and the me, then you will have what the Buddha called sakkayaditthi or self-delusion. Self-delusion or wrong view with regards to the self will condition your egoic mind or personality to arise, leading to all your selfishness and possessiveness to own, to cling, to grasp and to possess things, wanting things your way, etc., thereby arising the whole mass of suffering. The Buddha gave five very good analogies to clearly explain the empty nature of the five aggregates of form and mind. He said your physical body or the form aggregate is like a foam. Appears so solid, but not so, because if you leave the foam for a while, it's gone after a while. And the feeling aggregate is like a bubble, arise and pass away, moment to moment, very fast. Then the aggregate of perception is just like a mirage you see in the desert. Appears so real from afar, but you will realize that it's just a mirage, an image in your mind when you come near to it. Then the aggregates of sankhara, or thinking, mind activity, mental state, is like peeling a banana tree stem. Layer after layer you peel. Finally at the core of it, it is empty. That's why sabbe sankhara anicca and sabbe sankhara anatta. Lastly, the Buddha said, your aggregate of vijnana or consciousness is like a great magician. A magician is also called an illusionist, who creates illusion for you to see. Hence the reason why the Mahayana always say that this existential world of ours is an illusionary world. A world of consciousness only. So not so real and not what you think. That's why do wake up and do not be deluded anymore. So this is also the reason why in the Dhamma Sutta I say, each year you wait for. Everything within our conditioned world is conditioned Dhamma. Then Zu Mong Huan Pao Jing. Mong is dreamlike. Huan is illusion. Huan self. Pao is bubble. Yin Zi Yin is shadow. So how real can it be? Then the third stanza is Zu Lu Yi Lu Dian. Like a morning dew and a lightning flash. Yin Zuo Lu Si Guan. You should contemplate it such. Means there is no reality. It's an illusionary world, not what you think. Then we come to the next part, which is the three karmic obstacles that we mentioned just now. So Shenhua said, be aware of the three karmic obstacles. And according to Master Shenhua, eradication of these three karmic obstacles is what the Heart Sutra is capable of doing. So if you have the Heart Sutra understanding, then you can do away with the three obstacles. What are they? They are the first one, retribution obstacle, I explained just now, followed by the activity obstacle, and the final one is the affliction obstacle. So these three karmic obstacles need to be overcome. Otherwise, as per the word obstacle, it will obstruct you from progressing, from living life, from understanding and all those things. That's why it's called obstacle. It will create a lot of karmic obstruction and obstacle to prevent you from receiving truth, receiving help, receiving understanding and all things. That's why don't play a fool with karmic. So here Shen was saying, eradication is what the Heart Sutra is capable of doing. When you understand the Heart Sutra teaching, you can develop the wisdom to eradicate them. That's why I teach you the three things. Ask for forgiveness, then determine not to repeat all this wrong action, wrong way of living life again. Means we are following the advice of the Buddha, to avoid all evil, to good, and purify your mind. Means no more evil. When you repent, means you know these are all wrong action, wrong speech, and wrong thought process that trigger karmic conditioning, karmic friction. So when you realize this is coming, you ask for forgiveness and develop this repentance. Then it will help you overcome the karmic obstruction. And then only you start to develop your cultivation. Then you have less karmic obstruction or karmic obstacle. And then your life become more smooth sailing. You can actually help do something to transform it and to enable you to have the better life. Because without karmic obstacle and obstruction, your life will be smoother and you will have more and more conducive condition for you to live life and develop the understanding and progress. Then finally is the third way is to invoke power of merit. Well, after you follow the advice of the Buddha to avoid all evil, do good, and purify, you are entering the cultivation phase. You are developing merits, wholesomeness, virtue. Then when you have sufficient of this, you can invoke the power of merit for causes and conditions for you to overcome all your karmic friction or karmic obstacle. Then for you to recover to good mind state. Can be your disease or suffering or misery or whatever. Then all this become possible. Otherwise you will be entangled and trapped. Okay? So now we come to the first one, which is retribution obstacle. So under retribution there are two types. Primary retribution refers to karmically conditioned physical body that you are born with, like the type of DNA coding that you come with. These are primary retribution. Because of your karmic past, you will have this karmic body and the physical appearances, whether you are handsome, ugly, or whatever. They are all conditioned by your karma, born of your karma. So you cannot complain your DNA and all those things. You cannot complain why my parents like that. I didn't inherit their wealth, but I inherit all their medical problems. They are diabetic, they are hypertension, they are cancer, and all those karmic things that cause base your DNA. How they become your parents is your karmic retribution, how you entangle yourself in the past. But likewise, you have good parents also because of your good karmic inheritance. That's why primary retribution, you cannot blame anybody. So, primary retribution means it implies karmically conditioned physical body DNA, coding your physical appearances, etc. So that one you cannot complain. Then there is another one is dependent retribution. This one implies karmically conditioned living condition. Means your materialistic inheritance, whether you are born in a poor family or in a rich family or in a conducive family environment where you are born into, you don't have a choice. But because you don't have a choice because it is dependent retribution. But then I put here, who you marry this life, you do have a choice, true or not? Even if you choose not to marry, that is your choice. Yeah. But in the olden days, the karmic is so severe. Your parents decide your marriage, you got no choice. You have watched all the movie. The Korean also got that type of culture. Even ancient China got that type of culture. But the modern society, the parent has less control or influence over their child's marriage. But some still want to have control. That's why there is a lot of unnecessary misunderstanding, argument, especially young couple. They happily develop their relationship, then they decide to get married. So they thought it's a proper courtesy to approach the parent, especially the lady side. You must show sincerity at least to request for marriage from my parents, all those things. But not all parents have that good understanding of what this thing is. And sometimes they influenced by society. They also appear greedy. They want social status to be equal or better. They don't want their daughter to simply marry somebody very low in society and without any proper education background and proper career background and all this. So these are the problem. And sometimes it's because of difference of religious belief. One may be a Christian family, one may be a Buddhist family or a Hindu. Or the tradition, the religion actually create a lot of problem. So dependent retribution is something you cannot avoid because you are born into the family, the condition also, whether you are rich or poor, it's like that already. But karmically, you can make a choice to come out of that karmic, what we call you caught in the rat race, what you call that? You caught in that like poverty cycle. This is called the karmic cycle. And so, but you can still come out of it if you have the wisdom and the understanding. If you don't have the wisdom and the understanding, you cannot. There is no way. And the only way to break karmic obstruction, like I explained, you have to follow the Dhamma way. So far, my nature realized this is the best way. The three things that I used to teach all of you: ask for forgiveness, repentance, to clear the karmic obstruction and obstacle, or water it down. Then follow the advice of the Buddha not to repeat all this. Then to develop wholesomeness, virtue. Once you follow the advice of the Buddha, you are cultivating Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. You are doing the proper thing in life. You are walking the Dhamma path, avoiding all evil to good, and purify your mind. Then after sufficient length of cultivation, you have merits, wholesomeness, blessings, and you can invoke power of merits for turn around, to help people, to help yourself. Sometimes power of merits, not only to break your karmic obstruction and everything, also all causes and conditions for you to meet up with the great beings, the Sammasambuddha, the enlightened one, to avoid the foolish and the heedless, and meet up with the enlightened beings, so that you can realize enlightenment in the here and now as soon as possible. Then you can invoke power of merit for causes and conditions for you to meet up with all the great beings, to seek their blessing, their protection, and their guidance. All these are the understanding that you can invoke as merits. So this three way has helped my nature a lot, and I'm sharing it with you all is because I realize this is the fastest and the best. Otherwise, the karmic obstruction can be very, very severe. Then, who you marry, you do have a choice. Reflect on it properly. Marriage is not a simple decision. It involves your entire life's future. Understand? So that choice is very important. But do it well. If you choose to get married, make sure you choose the correct one. Means not the one that come for coming debt on. Not to become the victim and to pay back the coming debt one. Because you never knew what you did to people in the past. So if you make that choice based on karmic heedless, you will get entangled. You reap what you sow. What you do to people come back to you. But when you have the Dhamma cultivation, you normally will have a lot of very supportive Dhamma friends. Then sometimes you can have certain type of spouse that actually support each other in your cultivation or life after life. You can like depend on them. There is already this understanding from the past. That's why sometimes when they see, they can sense or not, this is the person I have affection for, because in the past a lot of things happen already. But sometimes it's coming that one, so you have to be careful. And this one you cannot learn how to choose one. You must have the Dhamma to choose. And when you have the Dhamma, don't need to choose one. It will come one. The cause of secondary, and you will know one. This is meant to be. That's why this life I never choose. I let nature decide. And in fact, I have a vow. If ever I were to get married, it's for certain reason. Then my wife, so far away, happened to comply with all this. That's why I saw the condition. I let it happen, and it turned out beautiful. It's meant to be. So this is all the understanding. Okay. Next one, okay. Activity obstacle. This one you learn, then you understand. This implies karmically conditioned livelihood obstacle. Means like you have a lot of karmic obstruction while you are working in your career life or while you are living your life. These are the activity obstacle. Means your relationship with people, with society, with your neighbor, with your bosses, with your colleague and all these things. So this is called activity obstacle. If in the past you had done a lot of this karmic negativity towards your neighbor, towards your sibling, your brother, your sister, your colleague, or as a boss, you gossip people, you harm people, you don't care and do all the this life you come. You will face a lot of bosses that do back the same thing to you. Harass you and put fear into you and make life difficult for you. Then if you have been difficult neighbor, in future when you take birth, you will become the victim and your neighbor will be the aggressive one and not easy to live by with. So all this is what we call activity karmic obstruction or karmic obstacle. So karmically condition, livelihood or activity obstacle, like when you live life while working, while living life, you have a lot of karmic obstruction. That means you must reflect. Like the Buddha said, we are all born our karma, heir to our karma, conditions. We are what we are because of karma. So you cannot this type of bosses or neighbor or whatever. You know already, this is coming. You have to pay back. So don't react and get angry and become very aggressive or try to fight back. No point. Karmic, you cannot overcome it with anger, hatred, and delusion. You must resolve it amicably And the best way is to ask for forgiveness. Because based on right view, it's definitely a lot to do with karma. So you have to accept the reality. In the past, this is what you did to people. So ask for forgiveness. Do what you have to do. Then repent. Then determine not to repeat all this by following the advice of the Buddha. That's why you turn to the Dhamma way to cultivate. Then invoke power of merit for causes and conditions to resolve all this amicably, so that in future you don't get entangled with this type of activity obstacle again. Then when you follow the advice of the Buddha, even your retribution obstacle in the future, the primary and the dependent, they will become beautiful. Understand? Huh? You understand? Because when you calm, when you have the Dhamma, you don't have to worry about what DNA, understand? Huh? Definitely good one. Then you don't have to worry about born into which parent or whatever. Then you don't even, when you have Dana Parami, you don't even worry about you don't have wealth and all those things. Everything will go your way. Okay? The last one is interesting. Affliction, obstacle. So we have retribution, obstacle. Then we have, before that is activity, obstacle. Okay? The last one is affliction, obstacle. Imply karmically conditioned affliction or suffering caused by your heedlessness in life, in the past and even now. That is, whatever you do in the past, your action, speech and thought process, when you act, speak and think with an evil mind that has the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion, then suffering or affliction will follow you like the wheel that follows the hoof of the cart. This is Dhammapada verse 1. So Dhammapada verse 1 will take its course. If you want to be happy, then be heedful to train your mind to act, speak and think with a wholesome mind, a heedful mind. That is without the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion. Then happiness will follow you like your shadow that never leaves you. Which is Dhammapada verse 2. Then Dhammapada verse 2 will take its course. So don't blame anybody for your affliction. For according to the Buddha, we are all born our karma, heir to our karma, conditioned and supported by our karma. And we are what we are because of our karma. So do strive on with heedfulness to take care of your karma, so that your life is taken care of. Do not be heedless. Have goodness and kindness, for you reap what you sow. To have goodness and kindness means you must have noble eightfold power. You must have the cultivation. So what you do to others, karmically it will come back to you. So if you are good to others, good and kind to others, karmically others will be kind and good to you. Because this is your karmic inheritance. The absence of evil is good. So don't try to be good or do good, but instead just train your mind to be heedful or mindful, so that it's incapable of evil. Then naturally you'll be good. That's why all evil has to be avoided. Those who have cultivated the Noble Eightfold Path have no evil, but only wisdom and virtue. That's why Noble Eightfold Path is the path that will lead to the end of all suffering. That is the meditation as taught by the Buddha. Everything can be resolved with Noble Eightfold Path. Okay? Okay, we will stop here. So part 3, we will continue next session. Okay, so now we will have our 45 minutes of awareness-based meditation. I will mark this page. Just relax, maintain awareness, stabilize the awareness nature within. Then for those who already know how to stabilize your awareness within, you stay at your heart area and let your awareness nature move by itself to develop the four support trust. You all can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. Okay. Okay, now we'll have our second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by whatever question you may have. You can ask me any question regarding the meditation or the teaching, and also how to apply this teaching to help you live life, understand life. Also, you can also share Dhamma in daily life. Okay.
Hello, Amitabha, Brother Teo,
Yes,
Mrs.
yes.
Teo, and all Kayamitas.
Mm.
Because today you share about the 7 factors of enlightenment, right?
Yes.
When you shared this one, right, then it reminded me of my meditation in daily life. Okay, the episode that I had uh, uh, when just before the Wutai-san, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
and I think I shared with Brother Teo the how it happened, right? But when Brother Teo shared these 7 factors of enlightenment, right? It gave me the understanding that all this happened during that episode of awareness in daily life, Brother Teo. Yeah. So
Because these
when
7 factors of enlightenment, they will keep on arising within your daily life and also your cultivation. If you don't have them, means you are not on the right path already. If you are cultivating correctly on the right path, this 7 factor enlightenment will keep on arising. That's why in the Dhammanupassana, the 4th foundation of mindfulness, the Buddha did explain when it comes to the mindfulness of the 7 factors of enlightenment. Even in the Abhijja Sutta, it also highlighted that. So all this, when you have done it correctly, the 7 factors of enlightenment will arise. Then the cultivator of the way will know one. Because all these factors of enlightenment, they are conducive for enlightenment. As I sati is number 1. Then after that, investigation of Dhamma, Dhamma Vichaya. This one is also very important. I remember during the early day when I have sati, I was able to investigate on the truth, on the Dhamma, on whatever that arises within life and existence. Then I realized it meshed with the teaching very well. Then after that, the faith very strong. Then from the faith, it actually drives you to cultivate the virya. And because of the virya, the continuous daily religious routine, the mindfulness, the cultivation, whatever training that is need to be done, you continue to develop it. Then when you start that process, this what they call 4th factor enlightenment, which is piti, you keep on experiencing it. Means the spiritual calmness, spiritual joy, spiritual what they call a beautiful mind, which leads to the calmness and tranquility of mind. All these they will arise. So piti leading to, of course, you will go through sukhang if you have done it correctly. Then from sukhang, you will develop passaddhi. Now, passaddhi is very important. The tranquility of mind, the stillness of mind. If you don't have that, means you have not done it correctly yet. Because the mind will enter sati on. Then you will realize the true mind is always with you. Then with that, throughout the day, because your sati and stability of it, which is passaddhi, it will stabilize your sati, your true mind, silent mind. Then you develop samadhi. Then you keep on having the ability to see truth, to see things as they are, to insight into phenomena. Then you can contemplate, reflect, and all the understanding will arise. That's why in the midst of life, like what you have explained just now, These 7-factor enlightenment, they are part of your cultivation in the midst of life. They keep on arising for you to see. Then when you transform until your mind becomes so different, then upekkha, that is the last one to arise. But before upekkha, the 7-factor enlightenment, there is this yoniso manasikara, which is wisdom at the moment of sense experience. And this one will come first. When this one arises, the mind becomes very different. The mind becomes like restrained. It cannot stir, it cannot react, it cannot do all those funny things. Because of that wisdom, you can see things as they are, accept the reality of the moment. You understand the universal characteristic. So your mind does not behave like before, heedless, react to sense experience. Then you have more and more moments of what they call silent mind, space between thought. That's how from there the cultivator transforms and become different. Then your mindfulness, your heedfulness become more and more stable. Because throughout the day, you hardly react to sense experience anymore. Most of the time, you are calm, tranquil, peaceful, with the enlightenment factor of piti, sukhang. Oh, sorry, sukhang is not an enlightenment factor, but passaddhi. Passaddhi is always with you. Then samadhi also always with you. Then because you have this mind state, you can investigate into Dhamma. Whatever arises, you can contemplate into it, reflect in it. Then you see the pristine beauty and wonders of life. Everything is Dhamma. Everything is what we call beautiful mind state that leads to understanding. The satisfactory enlightenment, when you have it, means it's a clear sign that you are on the correct cultivation path. Okay, Poh Cheng, and now you can continue. Maybe now you can explain it better.
Yes, Brother Teo. So what you shared is really true in the sense that for me, when I had this experience, right, when I encounter something, right, straight away, I can go into the silent mind, Brother Teo. The silent mind can actually let me see, investigate, and see the truth, and then my mind is like, actually, I will say that this thing happened by itself, Brother Teo. It doesn't like I have to do something. I don't have to do anything. It just go in and then investigate by yourself, and then after that, it will understand what is going on. Okay, and then after that, you know that the body about the body is like, I mean, you mentioned like body and mind is harmonized, but I felt that I don't know how to say it, but the body is not a body, and then the mind is not a mind, is the true mind that you see, the body is not the body, the mind is the true mind. And then from there, right, everything, you see the so-called, Brother Teo always mentioned the how you say it, the impermanence nature of things, Brother Teo.
You will witness them.
Yes, the impermanence nature
the
of things.
awareness will start to see, every moment, every instant, the phenomenal world of consciousness, they keep on arising and passing away. Then the universal characteristic is everywhere in the midst of life and nature. That's why I always ask, why can't you see? The one who see, they always see. Because when you are in that state, stability of awareness and tranquility and stillness, when the factors of enlightenment are there already, then the mind can see things as they are, that every movement, every instant, the characteristic of nature manifests. You can see it very clearly like I always explain, the present moment is the only apparent reality. Why? Because I realize it's so transient. Arise and pass away, arise and pass away. At every moment of awareness, or even the perception of it or the knowing of it, it's just the instant. It arises and it passes away. Then the next moment, then the awareness that is aware of all the sense experience and what is happening within the sense basis is what mindfulness and awareness is, sati is. That's why that one can see things as they are, can develop all the understanding, the awakening. That's why you can describe it, how it actually arises and happens like automatic, because once the mind has that stability and the training, they even know how to investigate itself, even know how to like develop the understanding. So all these are the cultivator of the ways, experience of what cultivation is. It's not a knowledge or a theory where people read, try to memorize, because even to understand what is sati is not easy unless you really did it, and sati really manifests in you. When your sati arises, when mind has entered sati, the form and mind will know, because there is no word on that nature and the activity of mind or kaya or whatever foundation that you may be with. They are one activity. Means when it comes to kaya, mindfulness of all your kaya activity and action. That's why standing away, walking away, bending, turning, stretching, everything away. That everything you see is in sati. Specific phenomena awareness, spacious awareness without a center. Hearing also same, smell, taste, tactile, and thought process. So all the activity and movement, the sati is there. That's why there is an inner awareness that is aware. It's no longer like before, heedless, lost in thought, like very active in the thinking process. So people who are very active in the thinking process, they become heedless very fast, because they are most of the time conscious, thinking, planning, and worrying about life. They never live life in the sense that they seldom have the inner awareness to be aware of what is going on in life, to be with the moment, to experience life, to witness the reality, and to see things as they are. So these are the missing part of the heedless people, non-cultivator of the way. Whereas for us, cultivator of the way, we are most of the time aware, mindful. And that is the big difference. Very good. Yeah.
Yes,
Continuing.
yes, Brother Teo. So when we are like Brother Teo mentioned, when we are mindful, right, we have the sati, right. So straight away when you encounter a life situation, right,
Yeah, you will
okay,
know
that
how to
want to
act.
test when you
Because
that
that
you
understanding of the Dhamma, Yoniso Manasikara, which you have contemplated, reflected, and insight into or realized, they will prompt you, and they will give you the understanding very fast. Sabbe Sankara Anicham, Sabbe Sankara Dukkham, Sabbe Dhamma Anatta. Or thing is just the way it is. Condition like that, things will like that. Or everything is conditioned Dhamma. Conditioned Dhamma has this unique characteristic. They are dependent, originating, condition, arising, causal phenomena. No reality. That's why all the characteristics you will reflect, contemplate, witness, see, and realize until they become very clear. Until like everything is like that. The whole of existence, every phenomena is like that. They are dependent, originating, condition, arising, causal phenomena. It's not a permanent, unchanging entity, and there is nothing you can cling on to, hold on to, grasp on to, and try to own or possess. Not even your own physical entity, your own physical body and mind. They don't belong to you. They go the way of nature. They are karmically conditioned for us to arise. Then you start to realize all this and understand all this. Then your delusion fade away or become completely rooted out. Then you become very different. You can live life, but there is no one inside there. You know, you are nothing, nobody. You are this vehicle and tool is not you. but they are karmically conditioned for you to come, for you to live life, experience life, and do whatever you do, even cultivation to fulfill your vow as a bodhisattva, to actually be a blessing to all this. You can make use of it, but you are not deluded by it, not deceived by it, because you know their purpose and intent and usage. Then you are no longer affected by the phenomenal world. That's why samsara to you has no more problem. Everything is just the way it is. You can live life, you can understand life, and you can do whatever you want to do in life based on this understanding. Then the third phase of Dhamma manifests. That's why we have Pariyatti, first phase of Dhamma, the learning of the teaching. Then Patipatti, where you put the teaching into practice. Then Pativeda is when you develop the enlightenment, the awakening. You receive the fruition of your hard work. And that third phase of Dhamma is very beautiful. That's what cultivator of the way, especially Bodhisattva, Sammasambuddha, they will have their understanding, and they become very beautiful. Just like this life, many of us, Kayamita, you will develop the understanding, and you will start to appreciate life differently, understand life differently. Then you can really live life to the fullest, without fear, without worry, without anxiety, and there is no suffering. Everything is just the way it is. So all this will unfold. That is the uniqueness of the Buddha's teaching. And the enlightenment part, very few people can understand. That's why luckily you bring out this topic of the 7 factors of enlightenment, then I can actually explain more and extend it into life, so that cultivator of the way will understand it differently. It's not just like most cultivators, oh, these are enlightenment factors, conducive for enlightenment, I must have them, I must work towards them, I must have sati first. Then they don't even know what is sati. Then they don't even know that they must stabilize their sati. Then only they can be heedful. Then how to investigate Dhamma also they're not sure. Then most of them, they cultivate the enlightenment factor one by one separately, not knowing that you have to start with the sati. That's why the essential Dhamma, the Buddha teach it very well, very beautiful. When it comes to 7 factor of enlightenment, the first factor is always sati. For sati is life. Without sati, you cannot start your acid day. Then from sati, you investigate the Dhamma. Then when the Dhamma stand up to investigation, your faith very strong, the virya arise, then drive you to cultivate. Then it will spin off the 4th factor. Well, when you start to cultivate seriously, diligently, then piti will arise. Of course, sukhang and all those things will also arise. But then if you continue to relax and maintain awareness, then even this piti, sukhang, they will transform and become very quiet and very still. And your mind enter passaddhi to realize the true mind. Your passaddhi is tranquility of mind, stillness of mind, the silent mind, your true mind, your meditative mind. Then stabilize that, it becomes samadhi. Then you can see things there. But when it comes to the 5 spiritual faculty, he don't start with sati. He said you start with faith, saddha. Once you have faith in the Buddha and his teaching, through understanding how unique the Buddha is, how special a being he is, and how wonderful his realization is, then that faith becomes unshakable. Then it will drive you to cultivate. Then when you cultivate, you develop sati. That's why the spiritual faculty, the starting point is saddha, then virya, then sati. Then when sati is stabilized, you will develop samadhi on. Then when sati samadhi is there, panya will be there. See? So beautiful. So different part of the teaching, the essential Dhamma, he will do it differently. Even Noble Eightfold Path, he starts with right view. You see, sati, samasati is almost towards the end, and samadhi. Well, these are the important things for this category of Dhamma that the Buddha has to teach, the essential Dhamma. So you look at his teaching, he's very precise, and he's very, very wonderful. And after you have developed the cultivation, you really admire the Buddha, how wise he is, and how special and amazingly wonderful he is. He can teach so well because he has understood the teaching inside out. And all the essential Dhamma has been taught by him in such beautiful manner. So thanks to you, Poh Cheng, for bringing out this so that I can share all this. Because this part of the teaching is seldom been shared. The beauty of all the essential Dhamma and why the Buddha actually placed them in that order. Okay, Poh Cheng?
Yes, Sadhu, Brother Teo. Yes, coming back to what you said, right, about these 7 factors of enlightenment, right? You see, most of the time when I listen to Dhamma talk, right, they teach it like a theory, steps one by one,
they are
itself.
not
But actually, it's
familiar with
not
what
like
this
that.
thing is.
Yeah.
Only unless you are a true cultivator who has gone through, and then they can explain to you like what I share with you. But these are the things that will manifest as you progress along the path of cultivation.
It manifests itself, to show it to
and for
you.
you to
It's
witness
not,
and see. That's why you can actually explain all this very well when there is condition to explain. But people who has gone through the cultivation, they will also realize the thing. That's why you can, like in the beginning, when you want to share, you say the 7 factor enlightenment, like in your daily life, you can see it arising. And it's with you all the time. Then later on, the essential Dhamma, everything, they are all connected. That's why I say I don't have to remember anything, is because the understanding is there and they connect all this together and they are like one teaching. They are not separate teaching. But the way it's been like worded and the categorization of this essential Dhamma, which are the things that come first, which second and third, the Buddha has his understanding and wisdom. That's why in the teaching it has been formatted in such clear and beautiful manner. That's why I realize the whole essential Dhamma is so beautiful and everything interconnect and everything arranged so beautifully. So like precisely, so to say. Very good. Sadhu.
Yes, Brother, totally agree that this thing, I mean, the Buddha is really very special and unique that can explain all these things. And when we cultivate correctly, all this will appear in
they will appear and
and
match
show us,
completely with
match
what
and show
he
us in our
shared.
daily life. And then the thing is, just now Brother Teo was telling us that the spiritual faculty, right? In fact, before I had these 7 factors enlightenment, which is later part of my cultivation, right? Once I developed the sati that is stable, right? I had these 5 spiritual faculties where I started with sada. I always mention
that
about
one very
sada.
important.
Yeah. So I always had this sada, I don't know how this sada come about, but I always had this sada that drive me to cultivate, to do this, to do that.
Yeah, once
It's
you
not
have that saddha developed, the faith become very strong. There is a spiritual faculty. It let you understand spiritual teaching. That's why don't underestimate saddha. Saddha is very important. When you have faith in the teaching, in the Buddha or in your teacher or whatever, every word they say that has the truth, they will stand up and you will be able to receive it. That is the beauty of saddha. Because the
that
mind
was
make
the
you very
beginning.
calm, very composed. Because of that faith, you got no doubt and you listen attentively. Then you try to develop the understanding of what they share. And when you can do that, everything is Dhamma, so beautiful.
Yes, you're correct. We
Yeah.
said, in the beginning, it's like, before I had these 7 factors, and I had this sada that is very strong. They just keep driving me. And
Yeah.
then, of course, that time, Brother Teo, I do not know that in detail, all these sada la,
Yeah, no
virya la,
need to know.
sati
Yeah,
la.
as you
Yeah,
cultivate,
I,
then all this will
yeah,
slowly manifest and unfold.
yes,
Then towards
correct,
the later
correct.
part, like after so many years, you reflect back. Then when you continue to listen to the sharing, then you realize they are all connected. They are all like that. Then you start to like trace back. Oh, no wonder last time when I have the faith, all this starts to fall into place. Then when my cultivation progress, the 7 factor of enlightenment, they appear within my cultivation. That's why when you're on the right path, the factor of enlightenment will appear. If the factor of enlightenment does not arise, means you have to check already. Something not right already. But these are factor of enlightenment that make you enlightened. You must have them. If you cannot have them, means your cultivation is not what the Buddha has taught you. So a lot of people fail to understand all this. That's why every other factors of enlightenment, they are very, very important. And to understand them is even more important. That's why a lot of people cannot get that sati right. So when they cannot get sati right, the factor of enlightenment got no more meaning. Like Noble Eightfold Path, when you don't have the right view, every other path factor will go wrong. When your view is wrong, your action, speech, and thought process will also go wrong. Because your view condition you to think, to act, and speak. Then the way you live your life also go wrong. Then when you don't have right view, your forward action you cannot cultivate because your views are wrong. Then when you don't have right view, right understanding of what sati is, you cannot cultivate samasati. And when you don't have samasati, how can you have samadhi? That's why you will go and do the focusing, concentration, one-pointedness, absorption, everything. So all this will lead to deviation. So to really progress, you must have somebody who has the realization, the awakening, and the cultivation to guide you, to advise you, or you have your past cultivation to support you. Otherwise, it's not easy. That's why the Buddha mentioned Kalyanamittaship. You must have Dhamma friends, because having Dhamma friend is 100% of the spiritual life, or what they call the holy life, to go this way, the spiritual cultivation. So without Kalyanamittaship, Dhamma friend, you cannot really receive the truth. Then the Buddha continued to say, he said, the Sammasambuddha, they are the best among Kalyanamitta. So when you can meet up with the great beings, the Sammasambuddha, they are the perfect Kalyanamitta. Because they are the one that has all the things that is needed. And they can guide you, advise you, protect you, bless you, teach you, guide you along. All this, they will manifest. So the whole of the cultivation, you look back, it's very clear and very beautiful, but it's not easy to receive this truth. That's why in the opening page of the sutta is mentioned very clearly that this true Dhamma is very rare. Even in hundreds of millions of what they call aeons, you may not even met up with it or receive it because it's so rare. So cultivation is like that. When you have the understanding, you progress, you become beautiful. If you don't have the understanding, you can be trapped, like I discussed with you all today. The karmic obstacle, the karmic obstruction, oh, they are so severe. The retribution, karmic obstacle already so severe. Then you have activity, karmic obstruction. Then you have affliction, karmic obstruction. All this is going to actually cause a lot of problem to cultivator of the way or living beings. So for them to overcome all this, you need a lot of understanding and advice. Because karmic obstruction are not easy to overcome. And because of karmic obstruction, it can block you. It can cause problem with living beings cultivation. That's why it's called karmic obstruction or obstacle. It's like something that obstruct you and block you. And it's an obstacle in between that you have to clear. Keep on clearing. So the whole Law of the teaching, in fact today's chapter lesson 8 is very beautiful. It covers a lot of aspects of the important Dhamma cultivation, especially the karmic part, followed by the teaching, the seven factor enlightenment and all those things. Very good. Poh Cheng, Sadhu. You can continue here.
Yes, Brother Teo. So what you mentioned is very true. This karmic obstruction obstacle that you mentioned, right? For me, personally, I do have the karmic obstacles that come and test me because I mean, in this life, I just started my cultivation not long ago, right? Like 4 years ago, right? So
but you have
the
done
karmic,
very well.
but I had to clear the karmic obstacle and the test,
Yes,
so
yes.
so this test is if I didn't have this awareness-based meditation to help me, to support me, I think habis already lah, brother,
Not easy.
really not easy, I'll be like very
Definitely.
afflicted, in suffering, in depression, or whatever problem that I will have, but because of the understanding from awareness-based meditation, because I have all the requisite from this awareness-based meditation, because I developed my five spiritual faculties. I have my seven factor of enlightenment that comes, during my cultivation in the midst of life, right? So it kind of protect me from all these karmic obstacles, Okay, brother, I want to mention one, I don't know what you call this, but I face my bodily got some problem here and there as I age, right? So
Yes.
I went to see a doctor, about my eyes that twitching, that start to twitch, right? So I feel that the twitching is like getting worse and worse and more, So I said something not right about the body. Maybe I need to get it checked, So I went to see a eye specialist for this, right? So the eye specialist tell me, wow, he give me I mean, of course, I went through two eye specialists, that tell me I have nerve problem, brother.
Okay.
I have nerve problem. So she give me a brochure to read, that there are two cause of this problem. One is, I also cannot remember the detail, but basically is due to aging, and that is what she said, due to aging, therefore you have this. So this one is like, according to her, cannot recover one, cannot recover. And so I asked her, what do I need to do about it, She said, you can either, number one, I mean, if it's not serious, don't do anything. If it's serious, you need to like, I mean, the solution that is provided by the specialist, like, number one, do Botox. Botox will kind of like freeze the activity of your nerve, Okay. Then the second is, that is temporary, like every 3 to 6 months you come back for that injection of the Botox. Then the second option is like do surgery for permanent solution. That's what she gave. Well, I hear this, I say, well, like that. If it's really deterioration, I think I don't do anything, I mean. So for me, it's like, actually she scheduled for me, to go and do MRI to confirm the cause of the problem lah. But before that, she actually do a test lah. She do a test, agitate my eye, the nerve really activated and become it show up lah, like it twitch and twitch and twitch, like a few spasm twitching happen consecutively. I say that's very serious, like, I don't have this problem become a problem. After that, she tell me, okay, if you are interested to confirm this problem, she will schedule MRI. So a few months later, I supposed to go for the MRI, but I didn't go, Brother Teo, why?
Okay.
The reason is, I felt that, this doctor, although they are specialists, they use us like a guinea pig to test this, test that, and then make things worse for me. Then I told myself, if I'm age, I have this problem, I have to like accept it lah. So I don't want to do anything. So I cancel. I told the doctor lah, I don't say I cancel the appointment, but I said I will wait and see the situation, because for me, I felt that I can, how do you say, I can meditate into it and stay with it.
You
And my
can make
problem
use
can
of the
disappear.
three way I teach you
Yeah.
to invoke power of merits for causes and conditions for you to recover. And for you, it's very easy because you have the merits already, the power of what they call merits. So you can invoke that whenever, because these are the reality that happen, because these are the first noble truth reality. So causes and conditions, like the Buddha said, we are like primary retribution. Today we study, okay, DNA, maybe from your parent or whatever, or your karmic past, that condition you to have this. That's why it comes with that coding. So what you need to do is ask for forgiveness, repentance, then vow not to repeat this type of whatever negativity that you may. But the causes behind one causing people having this problem, you may also not know. Like you say, most of the time it's due to aging. Maybe it's a natural aging thing, but if it's most people have it, then very likely what they say is true. But if it's a very rare thing, means possibility of karmic is there. But don't worry, because in this world, quite a number of people have, they call it the rare diseases or what. But as long as it's not affecting you that much, I think you just do what you have to do, you should recover. Because you already retired, isn't it? Huh?
Yes.
You don't have to
Retired.
use your eye like before. No
Yes,
need to stress yourself.
Yeah.
You can relax and all that. Try some of the new type of what they call eye supplement, where they can actually improve your eye health.
Yes, I have, right? I
So
take that.
all this, you can give it a try. But more important is do your own routine. Ask for forgiveness, then vow not to rebel, then evoke power of merits for causes and conditions. Then when you meditate, you relax into it. Then when you are at the heart, that pure energy can also go up there and help you to recover. Especially when you are doing the what they call nature's 8-way mind-based, that type of cultivation. That pure energy that you develop, it can actually go to the part that need whatever healing. I remember in the early days, it start to like heal all those parts that need to be healed. But of course, not everything can be healed, because some of these things that pure energy cannot help one, like aging and all those things, you have to accept the reality. Then we need to depend on medical science or understanding to help us recover, or some of these traditional medicine and all things. you will meet up with people that have the understanding, then you will somehow recover because of your good karma. When you make that third aspiration by the power of whatever merits that you have cultivated since the distant past, may arise the causes and conditions for you to recover to good mental health or eyesight. May your eye problem or whatever related problem be healed. May it recover to good health again, so that I can develop the good eyesight to continue with my cultivation and do my Dhamma work. So all this can actually help. So small matter, I think, nothing to worry. Then you can have second opinion. Sometimes ask around. Then when you are quite sure, then sometimes if the surgery can help, you make sure you choose the correct surgery that has done quite a number of such surgery before. Then they are confident. Then you will know how to assess it yourself. Then you only do it when it's necessary. At the moment, is it affecting you a lot? Poh Cheng?
No, Brother Teo. In fact, because I didn't do anything, right, it recovered, Brother Teo.
Oh, like that is very good. So no need to do anything.
Yes. So actually for me, I just meditate. I meditate, right? Like what you said, I meditate. So when this thing come, I just stay with it. Then it kind of like slowly heal by itself, Brother Teo. Yeah.
That's why you must relax into it and maintain awareness. Then it will slowly recover. It will slowly
Yes.
recover.
So I felt that the doctor is not helping me. It's making my eye agitate my eye with the test that they do. So I afraid. I'm not to say I'm afraid. I don't want to let her touch my eye. So that agitate my eye and then cause me to
If
have
that is the
kind of
case, then nothing to worry. You just let things be.
So when it happened, I'm saying, when it happened, I mean, before I see the doctor, I had this problem, and then it keep coming and keep coming and get worse and worse and longer and longer. So I said, maybe due to aging, I better
It's
go
good
and
to
have
go and check.
I go and check. So when she tell me all these things, right, so if it's due to aging, I can't do anything about it. I have to accept it, right? So and then she tell me do Botox, do surgery, all these things. I don't think I want to do
Not so
anytime,
keen.
and not so keen to do anytime now, at least not at this point in time. So I said, like that, I felt that she's not helping me. I just do my meditation and then be with it and see how it goes first, in the next 6 months. So actually within the 6 months, right, I recover by itself, by myself doing this,
That's
what
very
I'm
good.
doing. And of course, Brother Teo, I also invoke the power of marriage for recovery.
No wonder. Okay.
I
Good,
also
good.
do that. But of course, I felt that beside that, I mean, of course, this invoking power of marriage, it helps me that I will have some success in it. And plus, the meditation, I felt is also helping me because when
Yes,
I'm with it,
definitely.
it
This
kind of like,
awareness-based meditation from our nature can help us heal.
yes, I felt that it helped me heal because when I have it, I be with it, right? I silent my mind, be with it. So the twitching of the eye, like slowly dissipate. I can see it dissipating, Brother Teo. And then
Very good.
from long duration to short duration to like no more happening, Brother Teo. That's why
Very
I'm
good,
sharing
very
with
good.
Brother. It's no longer happening, So I was like, wow, very good, lucky I don't go and see the
Sadhu.
doctor. Someone asked me to do MRI, because MRI is not, it's not a simple thing, So you put into a machine, I think maybe magnetic field can agitate my eye, make my eye worse. So I said I don't want to play a fool with it, if I can heal it through the awareness-based meditation and invoking the power of merit, that's much safer and
Safer
good,
and more
effective, Brother Teo.
confidently.
Confident, effective way. So I thought I will share this with Brother Teo,
Sadhu,
talking about this
very good.
coming obstacle. So coming obstacle is very real one, no, Brother Teo,
Very real.
if
And when
if we
they
don't,
come, for normal people, they cannot see, they cannot understand. In fact, a lot of things in life are all due to karmic.
yes, I
That's why
agree, no, Brother Teo.
even recently I've been explaining to my daughter, my wife, they all, how I witness some of the problem that my sisters' children are going through. So a lot of things people cannot see, cannot understand. They have their karmic behind. That's why it's not easy to resolve. Well, when you are trapped in that karmic cycle, or what we call the like the vicious cycle, the karmic cycle, the people who are trapped inside there, they cannot see. So the karmic consciousness or the karmic conditioning will condition them to perceive things negatively so that they will identify from what we heard from one of my nephew that explained to us what happened to the sister, to the mother, and how they perceive things and how they develop unnecessary misunderstanding among themselves. That's why I told them, I said, this is karmic. It will develop more and more entanglement if you cannot understand and see, and not easy. Well, the tendency of that karmic consciousness is to perceive it in that manner straight away, and that one will lead to a lot of, they call, hatred, misunderstanding, unhappiness. Then the relationship suffer. That's why it will continue. Then this will go on life after life. Well, now you do it to people. In future you will become the victim. Then they do back to you. Well, these are the entanglement. Maybe this life is their husband and them, and their children, their sibling, then their parent. But in the past, what you have done is to others. Then this life there is karmic conditioning. You become the victim. You end up with those conditions. Then they do all this to you, and through your karmic consciousness, you react to it and become miserable and develop all the unhappiness in life. That's why I say this is, without the Dhamma understanding, you suffer. You are not living life. Luckily, my nephew came and visit me. Then we talk about it. Then I explain all this to them. So hopefully they can resolve it. But they have the good karmic affinity though. So sooner or later, I think they will be able to resolve it. So all these are beautiful scenario where you can learn. In fact, from life itself is our greatest teacher. We can learn a lot of things from life through observation, through understanding. Very good. Oh, 6 o'clock already. The alarm just went off. Thank you so much, Poh Cheng. You want to summarize or just say anything so that you can end?
Yes. To end this beautiful sharing today, I like to say we are so very blessed to have radio to guide and teach us, the true Dhamma 真法, not theoretical, but that can help us to live our life,
and understand life.
Yes, to live life and
understanding
understand
life
yes.
part is a big field, a big topic now. Like how to apply Noble Eightfold Path. In fact, last Thursday class, because of songs sharing, I started to like introduce how he has to do it that way, so that he will know how to apply Noble Eightfold Path to resolve all those habitual tendencies that need to be resolved. So all these are starting to come out. I realize now is another phase of understanding of how to cultivate Noble Eightfold Path and how to see karmic and how to develop the understanding to help people. Oh, Alicia, you can come in, Alicia.
Hey, Radio, good evening to all. 我给我1分钟。
可以，没事，2分钟、3分钟都可以。
不是 Radio， 你 Thursday 的 sharing 是非常好，因为我们都需要那一边的 understanding。因为我最近也是有一个 understanding， 因为那个right view 不在the whole Noble Eightfold Path collapse 到完。
Yeah, fall apart. Yes.
对，是真的。还有就是今天的sharing 也非常好。 因为就是 especially on 那个 part on 那个 karmic 哦
，karmic
真的你
obstruction，
看不到就是看不到哦。
对，看不到就是看不到的。The
连
karmic
一直在那
conditioning
边
will
对，一
karmic
直转
consciousness will
去，
unfold
对，一
，and
直
他们
转来转
会给它抓进去的。
对，哎呦，非常苦
非
，so 感恩
常苦，
brother
萨度，
就感恩
感恩
sister
感恩萨度，
呀，感恩阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛 ，very good. Okay, let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we shall end the sharing. This is very good. I think that new phase is unfolding very beautifully. Okay, we will share merit. We all being starting with the Devas. Akasata Cha Bhumata Devanaga Mahindika Punyang Tang Anumoditwa Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasana Etta Wata Jamehi Sampadan Punya Sampadan Sabbe Deva Anumodantu Sabbasampati Siddhya Idang me tinang hotu sugita hontu nyatayo. Idang me tinang hotu sugita hontu nyatayo. Idang me tinang hotu sugita hontu nyatayo. Devo vasatukalena sasa sampati hetu cha fito bhavatu loko cha Raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamina mame bala samagamo sattang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, now you can pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we shall end the whole Zoom session. Thank you. Sadhu.